On The Sopranos, what does it mean to be free?
Anyway, some people take pleasure in the simple doing of things.
Yeah, well, the things I take pleasure in, I can't do. You know, we're the only country in the world where the pursuit of happiness is guaranteed in writing.
The full sentence says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Though it's funny, because Tony Soprano's business is one in which writing is not something that you would do. It's actually ironic that Tony is all about the Declaration of Independence and the American way, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Because it's more like, in his world, life, as long as you don't cause any agita in mine, liberty, to the extent that I'm free to do whatever I want. We could go through nearly every character on The Sopranos and analyze whether or not that character was free or whether or not that character felt that he or she was free. But I didn't want to make this like a 2-hour-long video, so I chose a few examples here. So let's start with someone who's technically not a member of the family. Hesh Rabkin.
It's taxi. When did this happen?
Today.
Did you tell him you operated for years without any tax? 10 cents out of every dollar that goes into his kick is directly related to your Shylock business?
Tony, the reason I came over here was to tell you with all this bullshit going on, I don't know if I can stay in this area.
Luckily for Hesh, because he's not a made guy, he actually could leave. Free? I'd say yes.
Besides, I know you. You leave this action, you're gonna kill yourself.
That sadly brings us to our next person. Though as we see, it's not just Eugene Pontecorvo, but also his wife, his son, and his daughter.
Ooh, look at this one with the pool.
Yeah, we could go swimming.
I was thinking about buying a place in Fort Myers. Retiring there, actually.
Opposed to Tony thinking Hesh would kill himself if he left the area, with Eugene, he died by suicide because he couldn't leave. It didn't matter that he gave Tony a piece of his aunt's $2 million inheritance, or that he's known Tony since they were kids playing CYO basketball.
We spoke about. Still mulling it.
Hey, by the way, your Florida thing, that's a no-go.
What?
Can't be accommodated. You're part of the team.
Free? That's a definite no.
It's not so silly when you think about it.
And that brings us to our next character, Vito Spatafore.
You choke on a chicken wing.
Vito is married with 2 kids, but he's secretly gay, and we know how strong that North Jersey grapevine is. When Vito realizes he's been outed, he leaves at night and drives up to New Hampshire, where he meets his favorite stack of Johnny cakes and can finally be his real self, right? What's interesting, though, is that it wasn't Tony or Phil or any of their guys who found Vito and brought him back to New Jersey. That was Vito himself. Old habits die hard. Free? Well, technically it was his choice. Up next, Meadow Soprano and Finn DiTrolio. Quite a contrast here between how Tony speaks to his one family at home and his other family, the DeMeo crime family. Let's use the topic of travel as one example. So in season 4, episode 2, No Show, Tony and Carmela are arguing with Meadow because she wants to take off a semester from college to go live abroad in Europe.
You try me! You've been told no!
Watch me!
Don't do it! I'm warning you, do not do it!
Tony can only shout to Meadow and hope she listens. With the DeMeo family, Tony really does have the upper hand. While Meadow may not have gone to Europe, she could have.
These are difficult choices. What? You'd rather not have choices?
I always think about this one scene where Finn tells Meadow, "Thank God for choices. Would you rather not have choices?" Because it makes me think of all those characters who are involved in organized crime and the fact that while they may say that they're powerful and happy and act like they're on top of the world, are they really?
You could just pack up and leave whenever the shit hits the fan.
Thank God for choices.
Free? I'd say yes. Up next, Christopher Moltisanti, and Adriana Lacerva.
On your face.
So I suppose when it comes to this freedom, it's not always all or nothing.
I was glad to hear say that about the search, because I got to take a little time off for some business in Cali.
So what is it, business or time off?
Time off from here, but definite business.
I don't get it. You agreed to this in the hospital.
Christopher, I was in a coma. What am I gonna do with you?
I'm just saying, we're young. We got a whole life in front of us.
Each day.
You know that he'll be coming. You're still here.
Free? That's a definite no. Moving to the New York side, let's talk about Johnny Sack.
Do I have to do the allocution?
Underboss and then boss of the Lupertazzi crime family, Johnny Sack's arrested in the season 5 finale on a host of charges associated with his role in La Cosa Nostra. He ended up pleading guilty to 47 RICO predicates in exchange for a reduced sentence of 15 years and a fine of $4.1 million.
You're a young man. In 15 years, you'll be 67. The golden years.
To Johnny, there was a light at the end of the 15-year tunnel in the form of his wife, kids, probably grandkids, and more. But when it's all said and done, as we know, Johnny doesn't get to come out the other side a free man because he dies of lung cancer. There's no stage 5, as we know all too well. Finally,
Listen about being boss.
He says that's not what I meant. I don't want to be the wealthiest widow on Long Island.
free? I'd say yes. So, what does it mean to be free? And what does it mean to be free on The Sopranos? As with many other things, it's in the eye of the beholder. Like, you know, that Rorschach test. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed this latest video by Sopranos Blueprint. If you did, remember to give it a like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you later.